It's real. I mean, the fight was real. The friendships were real. The non-friendships were real. I didn't get the six pack on the show. You know, that's just how it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the talk of the day, it's the talk of the town, it's the talk of Dubai. Walid, it's happening in real time.
I mean, I'm super excited to have one of the most talked about personalities these days, especially in the Emirates, the entire Arab world. DJ Bliss, amazing to have you.
Welcome to
Super excited.
Thank you very much for having me. It's, you know, and I'm not saying this to boast, but it's the talk of the world. I just came back from New York, ran a marathon over there. Someone pulled me while I was running the marathon and like, hey, are you the guy from Dubai Bling? So it's pretty crazy to me that the show's gone so far.
Man, the show is really killing it, to be honest. It's one of a kind, and I think in the Arab world, you know what I mean? Nothing like it, or at least nothing that I watched, was as, you know, entertaining in terms of reality TV shows.
Yeah, I think what it is, and I don't think anyone even planned it. I think what's so special about this show is the fact that you're watching Arab personalities talking to each other and conversating in a reality form, and also doing it in English and Arabic, which most of us do anyways, and it's never been really done in a movie or, you know, a setting of that sort. So I think that's what's really catching people. It's like, oh my God, like, you know, people are relating, saying, that's how I talk to people. You know, this is how we do it. And this is anywhere, it's definitely Dubai.
Yeah, for sure Dubai.
It could be Lebanon. It could be America right now. Like, you know, Arabs who've moved to the States or Europe or anyway, they feel like they really relate because their mother tongue is Arabic, but they're speaking English. So I think the real connection is just people watching and saying, you know, we're really more alike than different.
100%. And it's also multicultural per se, because like there's yourself, Emirati, there's Iraqi, you know, there's also different nationalities as well. So you're bringing all of this together, English, Arabic, and KSA, Lujain, Omran, and Lebanese, Lujain, Adada. So like there's all of these different cultures, and that's why I think it made such a huge noise. We're gonna get into Dubai Bling. Before that, we want to get to know you a bit better.
Sure.
To start with the basics, can we know how DJ Bliss, the name, how you chose DJ Bliss, how did it start?
I went to Lebanon. There's a street called Bliss Street. No, I'm joking.
I got hooked for a second.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, no way.
But it was amazing going to that street.
Yeah.
Basically, early in my career, I was looking for a DJ name. I had done the design for my business card, and the only thing I didn't have was my name. So I had my email, my number, and all that stuff. So the only thing I couldn't figure out was the name for a while. And then I heard this word in like a couple of songs, and I searched the meaning, and it said like extreme form of happiness. I'm like, this is a great word. So that's how the name really just stuck with me at the time. But really, it was later on in my career where it was like this word really was more significant than I thought. It was how I like to feel. It's how I like people to feel. It's how I like people to feel when I'm playing music, and overall just the energy that I want to have around me. So it was a name I chose pretty early in when I started, but the meaning really kind of attracted later on in life.
Amazing. And was there any other names that you might have
Look,
considered?
my email at the time was Craze Kid. So if I didn't find a DJ name, I probably would have been DJ Craze Kid.
DJ Craze Kid, which is also cool.
Yeah, cool. If I could go back and change it, I would probably just use my real name.
Oh, okay.
You know, but back in those days, it was
DJ
cool to
Marwan.
have a DJ name was a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
But if you speak to anyone, if you listen to DJ Snake in his interviews, he says the same thing. Like he wishes he never chose that name.
Now it's well known, it's adopted. Like that's cool. If we go a bit more back in time, a bit about your childhood, you know. So like you're raised here in Emirates,
Yeah.
right? In Dubai.
Born and raised, yeah.
Born and raised in Dubai. So how was your childhood growing, in an Emirati family and be surrounded by, Emirati kids, and entering this industry that let's say, there aren't many Emiratis that are DJs. Let's say you're the first like multinational Emirati DJ.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
like, how was it?
honestly, there was what I remember. There was one guy who was doing it. And he was really just taking part in DJ competitions. He wasn't really like doing clubs and stuff. So it was pretty new. It was difficult. It wasn't easy because just not being something that was culturally accepted. It wasn't the norm.
Exactly.
And then also as a family thing. Going to school and studying, going to college, and then becoming a DJ. So it was, I wouldn't say frowned upon, but it was an odd thing,
Obviously.
But I think what really helped for me and my parents specifically, and that's really the most important person or people for me. People always tell me, what about what people think? Like I do things for me, and I really care about what my parents think. So I always kept that in mind in whatever I was doing, to make sure like they were not upset with, whatever I was doing, or whatever I was doing was not something that would bring shame to them, as much as I could. So that's how I really maneuvered. And I think for them, how they accepted it was that I didn't just DJ. So I wasn't just DJing at night, sleeping all day in the morning, and not doing anything with my life. I was DJing, then I got into radio, then I got into TV. I started my own company. I was emceeing. I was like presenting in front of the royal family of Dubai, award ceremonies, and all that kind of stuff, interviewing all the celebrities. And, it went from like, why are you DJing? Why don't you be like your brothers and sisters, to them telling their friends, hey, do you know my son's on radio, or my son's on TV? So it literally it was a process like that, which eased everything into being what it is. But I'm sure if I was just DJing every night and doing nothing else, I'm sure they wouldn't be too pleased with it.
I mean, you did do a lot of things before you like went into and becoming a huge hit.
Yeah.
But sticking to a bit during your time as a child, like, was there any coincidence that happened that really pushed you to follow this dream? Because we dream mostly when we're kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, was there some kind of like, did someone inspire you? Did you have an idol when you were a kid to become a DJ? So like, what pushed you while you were younger to pursue this dream?
It wasn't so much like first of all, I wasn't the cool kid in school, so I wasn't getting invited to all the parties. So I thought, how can I get invited to the parties? If I DJ, then they have to do it. Then I'd throw like parties to try and invite people. So that's how it started. When I left school, I got sort of my first gig. It was at a water park. And that was the first time I played on professional equipment. And when I used the professional equipment, I was so busy learning how to use it that I got fired from that job for doing that. And that's really where it took off. I realized that I loved doing this, and I was getting paid pretty well. So when I was in college, I was doing it like just on the side. But I'm like, man, I'm making pretty good money. Like the job offers I was getting, I was like, I'm making almost the same, like just DJing a couple of nights a week. I'm like, why do I have to like wake up and go to work every day? So I continued DJing, but I knew I wouldn't be able to really pull that off. So then luckily, right after I graduated from school, I got my first radio job, and then sort of radio and being a DJ was perfect because, everyone wanted to book the guy who was on the radio station. So my price went up, and then suddenly I was becoming good at it, and I was getting paid well for it, and I was on radio as well. So that's really sort of how it started and flourished.
Amazing.
You have 5 siblings. Can you tell us more about your relationship with them?
Yeah, so we're 5 total. So I have 4
Five total,
siblings.
4
I'm the middle child. I have 2 elder brothers, and I have a younger brother and a younger sister. And
4 boys and a girl.
4 boys
Wow.
and a girl. And the youngest one is a girl.
Okay.
Perfect. We spoke to you as a child. We spoke to you as a sibling. And now I want to speak to you as a father.
Sure.
So you have 2 kids, Zayed and Mira. Allah يخلي لك إياهم. I just want you to talk to me more from the father side. Like, how is it being a father?
It's amazing. I mean, it's what I dreamed about my whole life. I have a nephew. He's 17 now. I was actually in the gym with him today. It's crazy. I used to carry him on my shoulder.
Old?
He's 17.
17.
But he's like in the gym, and like he's like, I do 10 kilos, he's doing 20. I do 20, he's doing 40. Like everything double. So I had a really close relationship with him growing up, and he's my brother's son. So I love kids, and so it was like always my dream to like I always wanted to be a young dad too. I always tell all my friends, I'm like, make sure you have kids early, because some people think they want to live their lives, and I'm gonna miss out if I have kids. And I think the total opposite, actually. If you find the right person to be with, and you're in the right situation, it's much better for you to be close with your dad, like
Of course.
and do things together.
Yeah.
Play basketball with them, play football with them, travel with them, talk to them, relate to them. So I always dreamed about it, and I absolutely love it.
But you said it, you mentioned it, like you need to be in the right situation and find the right partner, more importantly, which is not too easy, maybe.
Sure, I mean, but that's really the case with anything, right? It's like whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for a good restaurant, you don't really know what they're serving
Until you try it.
Until you try it, right?
Yeah.
And then as humans, that's what makes us different, sort of, from animals. Really, it's our brain, right? It's our ability to think. It's our ability to make decisions, and our ability to make the right choices. So I think that's really what comes in over here. But for sure, you're right. It's not easy. I mean, picking a life partner that you're going to be with for the rest of your life. And then also, being in a relationship and having kids is definitely not easy either. If it was, everyone would have kids whenever they want. That's why you have to really think it through. And
you have to select the right time, especially like also financially, like kids are like, for me, the way I see it, like they're huge expense also. Like,
I mean, it's changing
it's
for
not,
sure.
To be very honest, like you need to put them in good preschools, schools, university.
The whole journey, basically, take care of the whole journey.
Yeah,
it's changed. I mean, I don't
it's
know.
Not as easy as it was before. But my father had, they were seven siblings altogether, or 8. I'm a bad kid. But yeah, like before, you would feel like, okay, it's much cooler, calmer.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it. Like, we're 5. I always go to my mom. I'm like, Mom, how did you do it? Like, I got these 2, and I'm like, we need help. I'm like, how did you do it? And she, like, I think it was just a different time, different age. There was no social media back then. There's not a lot of things to do. So times have changed. And I think, like, yes, smaller families will be the new norm. Like, I've actually met people who've had big families and are now just opting for a much smaller family, easier to travel, easier to, I don't even know how they took us in the car. Like, think about it, 5 kids, 2 parents. Yeah. How were we getting around in the car back in the day?
Exactly. But cars maybe were not as accessible. They were back then.
They were.
I'm going too much back.
Well, they didn't care. I think they didn't care so much about like car seats and
yeah, exactly. They
safety.
Just put all the 5 next to each other.
Yeah. And speaking of your kids, if you want them to take one trait from you, what would it be?
That's a great question. I think probably the ability to learn from life's lessons. For me, I was never afraid to do anything because I wanted to, whether I won or lost, I never lost the lesson. So, my son's 4 years old, and I talk to him exactly like this. And they say you should talk to your kids like this anyway. So I tell my son Zaid all the time. He looks at me like, what are you saying to me? I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, when you grow up, you got to make good decisions. You're smart. You're going to be successful. And he's just like,
what are you saying?
But I think it's important to talk to kids like that. Like, literally, I was on the phone with him on the way here. And he said, I was talking to my wife, and he said, I want to talk to Daddy. So passed the phone. And he said, where are you? I said, I'm going to do some work, and I'll see you later. He said, I'm like, what did you do today? He said, I went to the supermarket and I bought a gorilla. I said,
that's what he said?
He said, I bought a gorilla. I said, you bought a real gorilla? He said, I was joking with him. He said, no, I bought a toy gorilla. I'm like, can I ask you a question? He said, yeah. I'm like, do you know what sound a gorilla makes? And he's like, oh. And then he turns around and he says, Daddy, can I ask you a question? I'm like, sure. He says, does McDonald's have chicken, French fries, or pizza? I'm like, that's a great question. I'm like, they have French fries and chicken. He's like, you're right. He's like, all right, Daddy, that's it. I don't have any more questions. And I believe he's talking to me like this because I'm talking to him like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
because of the gorilla question.
Yeah, like
of course.
So
he's trying to be like you, which is great.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the learning is the most important thing, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You learn from each other.
Yeah.
You
And
know, like-
again, going back to what I said earlier, what makes us different from animals is really our brain, right? That's the only other thing. Otherwise, lions can be stronger, gorillas are stronger, elephants are bigger, snakes can kill. You know, the only thing is that we are smarter. So how we use our brain is really what makes us different from.
Exactly. We need to evolve, adapt, you know, and learn from each other. Like kids are the new generation. Also, they're like early adopters of everything that's getting out there. See what they're, you know, for example, like TikTok. The young generation was the first to adopt it, and then I started using it more.
Yeah.
So that's why you learn from them. They learn from you, obviously, as well.
Just out of curiosity, the trait that you just mentioned that you would like your kid to have, was it like given from your father, or it's something that you discovered through your personal experience?
So me, I was an observer and I watched and I learned. So I learned DJing by watching people. So I, you know, and I'm like that. I'm very curious. Like my eyes are always like, I'm looking around right now. I'm like, headphones on the wall. And then, how did they get this light with that, you know, thing? And, you know, I'm very, very observant. So that's, I think, my nature. And I think, I don't know. I think it really goes back to the same thing. I think it's a learning thing. My dad wasn't really like a teacher, but you know, he used to have his own business. I used to go with him to work. I used to work for him in the summer. So, you know, I definitely learned a lot from him as well.
Definitely.
And I think what a lot of people tell me is like, you know, when they complain about their parents or friends or whatnot, again, same thing. When you learn what you want to, from them, what you like and what you don't like, so that you can make the right choice in your life. It's actually good to have everything around you. Otherwise, if you only had good, you wouldn't know what bad is. And
yeah. I mean, you don't know how to be, let's say, happy until you really know the true meaning of sadness.
Right.
Yeah. So you mentioned something interesting. The first gig you got at Wonderland, that was the park. You got fired, and you also maybe threw multiple parties which were not the best parties. Nonetheless, you still kept going. Have you ever thought that maybe this is not for me, or what kept you going, you know, like mentally, to try again?
I'm not gonna say the thought didn't cross my mind. For sure, you know, you have days where you feel like that, but for me, it was just being persistent and consistent. Like I always wanted to do more. I wanted to be better. I wanted to do so many things as well. Like I loved like doing different things. It was the gift and the curse. Sometimes it's better to just focus on one thing and do it. But you know, some people deal with seeing other people's success or how well they're doing with jealousy and you know, evilness. For me, it was no. I need to be better, and I want to do better, and I want to be number one at everything that I did. So that was really my mindset at all times. So did I think I was gonna be where I am today? Like absolutely. Like I've written it down. You know, if I took you through my notes with dates, you will see like there's a lot of things that I've written. And I used to do this thing called a vision board. Like I put so many things on it, and like majority of it has already come true. So, you know, and that's really, I think that's a pretty important part of achieving success, right? I always tell people like everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to drive a good car. But what are you doing in order to achieve it? Like, do you have don't you want to drive the best car ever?
Of course.
Like, which car would you want to drive?
I would definitely want to drive maybe a Maserati one day.
Right. Now, do you have a picture of a Maserati on your wall at home?
No, I wouldn't
That's
say.
That's the thing, right? If you put that picture on your wall and you looked at it every day and you decided, do you know how much the car costs or no?
Like $200,000, $150 maybe.
See, that's the problem. You don't even know how much the car that you want costs. So how do you even know what work you have to put in order to buy that car?
Yeah.
Right? You don't even know where the goal is, so you can't really score. So
Definitely.
you know, those is those kind of scenarios that you have to put yourself in to really win. You have to understand it. So a lot of people have the same dreams and ambitions, right? It's for us to succeed, to be great, to do amazing things, to travel well, to have nice cars, to live in a nice house. But if you don't know how much your dream house costs, how are you going to know how you're going to buy it? Maybe you can buy it right now and you don't know.
definitely on point.
we have to put it. You got to put like objectives.
Yeah.
You got to be very clear. Have a plan. Of course, that plan needs to be adapted with everything that changes. But as you said, in order to, as my colleague Maher always says, to manifest something.
Manifest, visualize.
Maher loves manifestation.
Yeah, and
He
we actually
always
did a
says it.
full episode back in season 1 about manifestation, and
Yeah.
Walid really liked like
I love
manifestation and like the law of attraction in general, and how much
Absolutely.
it can work to your
Yeah.
favor.
It absolutely works. That word manifestation, I love it. It's such a beautiful word, and he's saying the right. You gotta listen to him more.
خلاص, I'll put a picture of a Maserati on my wall tonight.
Yeah.
But so you failed like multiple times. You failed multiple times in the beginning of your career. You did not stop. Finally, you had a huge gig, which was the opening of the first ever Formula One in Abu Dhabi. So how did you feel when you reached that height?
I would be lying to you if I told you I remember, but
the adrenaline.
Yeah. But for me, it's just everything in my life and career has always been like, I felt like it was on the upper. But I do remember that gig in particular because everything else we did was like much smaller and concerts. This time it was the first year of Formula One. And I remember going to sound check and just seeing this empty field. Like I'm sure I have the video somewhere as well. It was just like an empty field. And I'm like, is this place really going to get filled up tonight?
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, is this really going to happen? And then that night, I have a picture that we took. I think it was, who was performing? I think it was the Beyonce night. The picture, you just see this like me, I'm so little, and then just 20,000 people in front of me. So I'm like, when I saw that picture, I was like, that's what blew me away. Because I think that was really the beginning of big concerts over here, by the way.
You also opened for Prince at another concert.
I did do Prince that year. It was Prince and Kanye. And when they offered it to me, they said, we want you to do it again. And I guess you want to do Kanye, right? I said, no, I actually want to do Prince. They're like, what? I had already done a opening for Kanye once, but Prince I thought was a legend. And I'm like, I mean, definitely do it. Rest in peace, Prince. So that was also definitely one of the highlights of my career, opening up for him and watching him perform live as well. By the way, speaking of concerts, the reason why I've lost my voice is because I watched Usher perform the other day, and I was like singing all the songs. Like, man, my voice is gone. I was like singing all the songs.
You weren't the DJ?
No, I wasn't. I was just watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Surely, afterwards, you were the TV host of Dubai One. You were a radio host, and you were DJing 4 times in a week.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, do you think hard work is the number one reason for your success? And even if it's number one reason or not, what are some other factors that contributed to the success that you are living today in real time?
That was a very difficult time for me. I remember it clearly. It took a toll on me as well. I remember like going to the hospital from being exhausted.
Wow.
I was like literally like doing 6 radio shows a week, and I was doing a morning show and I was DJing at night and recording my TV. So some nights I would DJ till 3 and then go sleep on the sofa in the radio station and start my show at 6. And is that really the way? Yes and no. So you can work hard, but if you're not working smart, it's not really worth it, right? You can be working like I tell the people who work for me, I'm like, you can give me 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm like, if you sat down and you planned it and you worked smarter, I'm pretty sure you can probably do it in less hours. So working hard is good. It's definitely a start. If you don't know sort of, what you want to do, if you don't have the answers, but if you can work smart rather than hard, I think that would be a little bit more effective. So having a plan, deciding what you want to do. I just wanted to do everything at that time. If I go back, I can probably look and say, look, I'm making more money over here, or this is really contributing more to my success. Let me focus a little bit on this. Maybe if I had put a better plan together, it might have worked. But would I go back and change it? No.
And as we all know in this room, in every journey towards success or towards anything that we desire in life, there are bumps. And now I would like to call these bumps like challenges. Yeah. So can you walk me through some challenges that you had in your journey and you may still be facing them to this day?
Yeah, I mean, they've always been there, and they will always be around. It's a never ending journey. Whether it's people, whether it's obstacles, whether it's literally just a bump in this road that you're trying to go to where you want to go. There's too many. I think it's too many to mention, but I think the important thing is that those bumps are literally just something you just go over and move on from. So I try not to pay too much attention to them. I mean, I try not to pay attention to it so much that it's not even really, nothing's really even coming to me. Whether it was being a local and speaking English, not doing Arabic media, dressing different, not wearing kendora, being in English media, having an accent like this. Like people literally said, why do you speak with an American accent? I'm like, do you even know what I sound like?
But
these are critics, like a lot of critics. But
Yeah.
is there like a main low that you went through, maybe a main challenge, something that you really look back upon and you're like, okay, I overcame this, like something major, or is it just a bunch of series of small challenges?
Yeah, nothing really comes to my mind, honestly. I'm not saying that there wasn't, but nothing's like really, and that's really because when you're doing great, you forget about all that stuff. I think you don't really remember. It's when, like, if you caught me at a bad time, like when things are bad, you remember everything bad, right? So when things are good, I think you kind of like, you're like, you're almost like a sigh of relief.
Exactly.
Like, it was all worth it. I think that's probably what it is.
No worries. It's totally understandable. Now, if we move on to the talk of the town, Dubai Bling.
Yeah.
So
it's all what Walid talks about.
I love
That's
Dubai
all what
Bling.
Walid talks about.
To be honest, like many of my friends didn't watch it.
Yeah.
And to be also completely honest, like at first I was like, I don't want to watch it. Like it's a reality TV show, not really my thing. But then I saw like all the memes, like all of the posts on Insta. I was like, and I'm from Dubai. Like I want to really understand it. And when I watched it, I was really proud. I would say the word that, we were able to produce something like this.
Yeah.
And it reached so far. So, like, are you still in contact with all of the people from the show? Most Danya, obviously.
Danya, not so. No, I'm joking. No, definitely. I mean, Danya and Ibrahim were with me in America. We just traveled, all of us. So we were together. And for the most part, I mean, I don't want to spoil the show in case you haven't watched it, but you have to watch the show to know. But everywhere, everyone we're cool with. Like we still hang out, we talk, and we just came back anyway. So we're just about to get back together and see each other more as well. But yeah, I mean, it was a great experience, and we created some new friendships. I mean, we created some enemies and a whole bunch of stuff. But that's what makes a reality show, I think.
And how's that 6 packs going? You got there?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you right now.
Show us.
You got there, actually?
Exclusive from Higher Take.
Yeah, I didn't show
DJ Bliss Progress.
Man, that was the funniest thing.
You didn't see my 6-pack?
No, I did not see your 6. Is it really like you posted it on Insta?
Yeah, you guys didn't. You guys do you guys follow me or no?
Of course, I follow you on Instagram. It's been a busy day.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Here it is. Check it out.
I saw this. We gotta show them.
One word, authentic, no?
Authentic 6. You got there at least one way or another. You're there.
At least you're manifesting them. You're visualizing them.
Correct.
Like you said, it was unique experience, different experience. What would you say you learned the most out of this show? What was one of the main benefits you got out of the show? On a personal level, I would say.
On a personal level, it's really, my relationship with my wife. It was our first time to kind of like work together on something. And I think it actually brought us more closer together. So I think, the one thing that I would like take from this on a positive note was definitely was definitely that.
The relationship.
Yeah. First of all, we've never done reality TV before. So if you watch the beginning of it, you feel like, oh, this isn't, you know, it's not really authentic. It's very scripted. I mean, we've never done TV before. Then think about this conversation that we're having right now. We're doing a podcast right now, but imagine us as friends, we're sitting in the hotel lobby or in a restaurant, people are around us eating and all that, but there was like 7 cameras around and we're talking for an hour and a half. So naturally you feel like, you know, this is a little...
So good to be true.
Yeah. So I think that's really what people are sensing. But I mean, it's real. I mean, the fight was real. The friendships were real. The non-friendships were real. I didn't get the 6-pack on the show. You know, that's just how it is. I mean, we come up with ideas. I had this idea, you know, we take it away and we see where we go with it. It was cool, you know, to like run with some ideas. Again, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't watched, but you know, you get kind of like, there's an idea that comes about and you kind of like just go with the flow.
Yeah,
definitely.
But is like the camera crew catching you at the right time, at the right place, or are they like asking you to amplify your feelings? Like, why is it the number one question that you get asked? Like, is it scripted? There's something behind
because
this
it's
question.
good, to be honest. Like, you know, maybe because it's good.
Do you think the Kardashian show is scripted?
I don't know. I never watched it, but like...
My answer would be, it's not scripted, but it's definitely like amplified. Like, the emotions are more intense, planned. Maybe like they tell them, do this at this time. Like, there's something into it. I wouldn't give it like a 10 out of 10 authentic show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a reality TV show at the end. I'm sure like it's not scripted.
Yeah.
Maybe some planning, potentially. But at the end of the day, it's a show.
Yeah.
You want to make it nice. You want to make it attractive. You want to make it interesting for the audience to watch. And I mean, that's the objective. And that's what they did. That's the result. Look what came out. So like whatever you did was amazing.
What's your take on the Kardashian show?
Like, I mean, I don't watch it regularly. I've seen like episodes here and there if Danya's watching, but you know, I get it. Once you see that and you do it, then you get sort of what's going on. So for sure, it's not like, hey guys, we're giving you a camera, let's go do what you want tomorrow. You know, no, it's like, guys, you know, the 3 of you are gonna sit in a coffee shop tomorrow, and by the way, Marwan, you know that his girlfriend's cheating on him, right? Go talk to him about it. We go talk about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
The song you wrote, Danya, very beautiful song.
Thank you.
Very beautiful. I love it. Did you write the song like for the show, or you were working on it like before?
Wrote it for the show.
Wrote it before the show and then released it on the show. Nice.
Yeah. So no, I actually wrote it during the show. Sorry.
Yeah.
So what happened was they said like, you know, we'd like to give her like we'd like for you to give her a gift on Valentine's Day, and I thought, you know, like everyone's gonna do the same thing.
Same thing,
like,
so you're creative.
So, yeah. So I'm like, let me do something different and give her like a gift that's like forever. And I wrote it and she loved it. You know, my kids, they sing that song all the time. It's so funny. Like it's their favorite song right now.
It's like very catchy song. I like it, to be honest. And how is Danya doing, by the way?
She's doing good. I mean, I know you guys are gonna have her on here soon,
Definitely.
so she's gonna give you all the lowdown and.
You know, I got with her on Insta Live. She's such a sweetheart.
Thank you.
Pleasure, man. And if we want to get a bit into this relationship, how did you guys meet?
So we met through a mutual friend, but when you meet her, tell her that I told you that she saw me somewhere and like she couldn't stop staring at me. Because
I will do that.
She will tell you.
I remind you.
By the way, she will tell you exactly the same thing. Like she'll say that I saw her and like
stared at her.
It's always
we're gonna compare both stories. We're gonna see it.
But the truth is, like, so we had a mutual friend who introduced us. We were in a gathering, I think, once, and then we met, we spoke, and then after that, we took it through the traditional route. So our parents spoke. Were they cool? Visited the house, like went through all the
usual procedure.
all the awkward traditional events that take place in this kind of situation.
Okay, that's cool.
As you know, and as your career evolved, you had more job responsibilities,
Mhm.
aka like making more music videos, making more performances, and you know, in music videos and performances, there might be some girl dances that Danya might not necessarily be the biggest fan of.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how both of you handled this situation?
I mean, I think by now she's used to it. I think it's based on trust and 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 sort of how you treat each other.
Uh-huh.
So when you treat each other in a relationship with respect, that's the best situation that you can be in. And in any relationship, the problems really happen from mistrust. Like if one
Yeah.
person doesn't trust the other, like that's where the problem really happens. So I think that's what we have, and that's what helps. Been doing this for a long time. She met me when I was DJing, and I'm still DJing, and this is what I love doing. It's my passion, and we did the show together now, and she was cool with everything, so she can never go back and say she's not cool with it. So if she says anything to me, I'm like,
she's
Yeah.
cool.
yo,
There's proof.
Netflix episode 4, just go watch it. Sorry, episode 6. Episode
Perfect,
6.
perfect. And if now I hand you a piece of paper
Yeah.
and a pen, and I told you to describe Danya in one sentence, what would you write?
Oh, in one sentence?
Yeah.
Sentence, word, whatever's easier
Poem,
for you.
paragraph, whatever you want.
Wow. Let me give you a couple of words. So she's super honest. She says exactly what's on her mind. And she loves hard, and she can also not love hard too.
Get pissed hard also.
Yeah. What else? What you see is what you get with her.
Yeah.
There's nothing hidden. There's nothing like you don't need to figure anything out. Like what you see is literally what you get.
Which is amazing.
I think
which
that's
is,
amazing.
She always tells me, she's like,
Sarah, girls love to play mystery sometimes. Like I'm like, I don't want to play
She's
games
shaking
anymore.
her head.
I always
I
tell
can
my
see it.
Like I can yes, they play mysteries. That's
Yeah.
like
girls are not gonna like that I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. All right, and we have a girl in the room. Maybe she will like agree or not. But I feel like every girl has a little bit of like a crazy side to her. And like I always tell my friends, I'm like, listen, when you find like a lower percentage one, because you're not gonna find like not crazy.
Exactly.
Like when
There's
you find
always
like
certain level.
20-30%, go for
Go for it.
Go.
20-30
I'm
is
like,
good.
the 70, 80, and 90 you need to avoid. You agree?
And she's managing everything.
I
you
mean,
do.
90 is fair. 90 is fair.
I mean, yeah, definitely. Just find the right balance, I would
Yeah,
say. Totally agreed. Speaking of crazy, this whole war and drama at the end of Dubai Bling,
Yeah.
was it solved in peace afterwards? We don't have to go into details.
I mean,
about it.
you would have to watch the show to find out. And God willing, if things go well and there's a season 2.
That's what we're getting. Is there? Is there? We're waiting for it.
Is there a season 2? I showed you the answer, no? So the first answer you...
On the first one, I didn't see it. I saw the second
Oh,
one.
so go ahead and ask me the question. So what's the question?
So is there a season 2 for Dubai Bling?
Talk to us.
So that is a question for Netflix.
Okay.
So it's a question for Netflix, but I will tell you that considering the success of the show,
Yeah.
number 2 non-English global, trending, even in America when I was there, it was trending.
Everywhere.
And number 1 in the Arab world. Considering these facts and how the response has been, I would be like surprised if it wasn't. But again, we have to wait until they make the call.
Let's see. Hopefully, we'll see it out soon. But by the way, regarding scripted shows and like reality TV shows, I'd like to mention, I don't know if you've ever watched Drive to Survive. It's the Formula One,
Someone told me
show.
about it yesterday. That's so weird. Literally yesterday. They were like, do you not watch Drive to Survive? Max, he's this and he's that.
Yeah.
No, it's an amazing show, but like the point I'm trying to portray is that it's also more of a like reality TV also. Like they, the way they take the edits, of course the races, they don't fix them. The races are fully authentic. But like the drama, they're with the edits they do, to make it be a good show.
Exactly.
And the rivalry between like Verstappen and Hamilton, they make it much more than it is. Like even Verstappen, the driver, is like, in the show they make it much worse than it is. But like the point is, it's just just making a good show at the end of the
They
day.
want the people to be invested at the end of the day.
I mean, everybody has an opinion at the end of the day, right? About a show, and I always say like, not everybody likes the same food. Not everybody likes the same thing. So everyone always has something to say, and usually people have something to say when it's something bad. Like you'll never write a good Google review about a restaurant you go to, but if you had a bad meal,
Oh, I'm writing.
Exactly.
I'm
That's
writing.
such a good comparison. As the first Emirati DJ, if you want to now look at your career and reflect back on the journey that you've had, what were one of the lowest points that you faced?
as a DJ, I think as a DJ, mainly just trying to get out of here. I felt like we were just importing DJs and artists all the time, and they were paying outsiders way more, and it was always like local DJs were just opening up for big artists and doing the smaller clubs, smaller shows, and getting paid less. And for me, I was like, I don't get that concept, because we know the people, and we should have our own stars over here.
Yes.
And that's what I wanted to do. I'm like, that's who I want to be. That's why I kind of left radio and TV as well. I was interviewing like every celebrity you can think of, an artist. Like I've interviewed all of them. Then one day I was like, I want to be on that side of the table. And I manifested it. I was like, that's who I wanted to be. So not being able to achieve that because it's never been done before. It's a lot easier when it's been done and then you go after it. But when it's not done, like it's unheard of, right? Every city or country you think of, if I named any country, there's an artist who kind of like crossed over. But it's never happened over here.
And talking about, DJs, especially in the region, KSA, UAE, like, why hasn't there been, you paved the road maybe for others? What do you think is needed, for more DJs within our region to come and even attract, let's say, the west side of the world, like the DJs that come from the west attract us?
I mean, we're new, 51 years old. The culture, culturally as well, we're very new. You got to remember, like the DJing culture, like goes way, 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 way back. So people have been doing it for a long time in like numbers. Here, because it's so new, that's the reason why it is, and that's why most of the DJs are expats here. Also, we're talking about I know as Emiratis, we're like a very small population. I don't know if it's gone up from 20% now to anything more than that. But imagine as a DJ community, we're talking about like something around the 99% mark.
Yeah.
There's literally only a couple of guys that I know who are Emirati and who are DJs. So, and then when we talk about GCC, that percentage might really change to even 9. I mean, when I say 90s also, I'm thinking, are we really 10%? Maybe. But there's tons of DJs who are mostly expats who are living in the GCC. So it's just going to take time, but eventually it'll happen. And it's a matter of time with technology and with everything that's going on, and by technology, I mean, not just social media, but just how easier it is to DJ now. It will happen for sure.
Shkoon, you know the band Shkoon? Shkoon.
I do not know.
They're good also. They're DJs. They play DJ.
They're Syrian, I think.
Syrian, I think. Syrian or Lebanese.
They play Arabic music or?
Yeah, it's like Arabic. It's like
Palestine.
Yeah, but they're like Arabic, but like we'll play a
have
track.
So many
after
resources in this room,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll play a track afterwards.
And on the other hand, what would be like highlights that you faced in your career, like other than lowest point, like?
Yeah, also same thing. There's so many. Right now, I'm filled with this whole Dubai Bling success. Like it's literally what's on my heart right now, and like my feelings are all about that. And really just thinking about the next step for me, right? I want to, like I said, I want to go travel the world and promote myself as the first Emirati DJ. So that's really what I want to do, and that's. If I would say the highlight is really something that hasn't even happened yet, like trying to think forward to that situation where it is going to happen.
Before I pass the floor to you, Walid, I want to ask you a question. And it's the following. If you had to change one thing about yourself today, what would it be?
I would get some abs.
Back to the abs.
Let's say not physical, more of a kind personal inner type of thing.
Makes sense.
Personal. I mean, I don't think I'll change anything for sure. I mean, I have flaws. I want to say I'm perfect, but I just feel like, everyone is built or created in a certain way for a reason. So I wouldn't really want to change anything, even if I had the choice. I feel like it's a hypothetical question. It's not really possible, right?
Yeah.
If I said, if I was, I don't know, if I was angry all the time and said, I wish I wasn't angry all the time. Really, it's hypothetically speaking. If I really didn't want to be angry, I'd go meditate and practice and,
Exactly.
be more centered and focused to be that person.
Yeah, maybe like a weakness you can enhance or something like that. Not something like fully taken off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we always want to improve ourselves, and I'm sure he did throughout the years.
Waiting for the abs, though. Waiting for the abs.
Yeah.
He's gonna wake up one night. Oh, abs.
When I went to when I went to see the doctor to talk about the abs, I thought it was like they put like a little pump on you or something, or like a little laser.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, this is like invasive surgery. Like they put you to sleep, and like I'm like, no way.
No way.
And do you have any at all regrets, not in your professional career, maybe in your life, any regret, anything maybe you would go back, change?
Again, I mean, pretty similar to the other question about a personal thing or a regret. I think everything that I did, if it was a mistake or not, it made me who I am today. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to change it. I always like to see the good and the bad, so I know what I want to do and what I don't want to do.
Yeah. And throughout the years, you met lots of celebrities. You mentioned Will Smith was one of your mentors, let's say. So how did this? How did you meet Will Smith? How did he become like one of your mentors? And what did you learn from him?
So he's actually my virtual mentor because he is so powerful that that he says things to you that you don't even realize are motivating you. And he even there's so much things that he said, like content that's online that can motivate you to be a better person. And it's just, you just go out there and listen to it, like a YouTube video or whatever. Having the personal relationship with him, and listening to his quotes. He's the best at quotes. He's so intelligent. You have to be in the room with him and understand what kind of energy he has.
I feel it.
He remembers everyone's names. He knows which book to tell you to read based on who you are. He's so interested in everything. He's always learning. He's always smiling. I've never seen him not smile, except at the awards.
That's what I was about to say.
But he was smiling right before,
right
and
before,
right after.
And maybe after.
And right after. Just during that time.
So yeah, I met him. I have a barbershop, Beats and Cuts, and once I got an email saying we have a VIP client who wants to get a haircut and shave. So we discussed all the details, and I'm like, who is it? They're like, oh, it's Will Smith. I was like, oh, amazing. I wasn't in Dubai at the time. I was actually in Los Angeles. So they did it. They met the barber, got his haircut done. A few days later, we need him again. I was still in LA. I was like, oh my God, the second time I'm going to miss it. This is unbelievable. So was it the second or third time? I think the second time I missed it as well. Then the third time it happened. I finally met him. When I met him, I said, I own the barbershop, huge fan. And he's like, what do you do? I said, I DJ. And he's like, do you have a studio? I said, yeah. He's like, well, okay, well, I can come by and visit the studio. I was like, sure. I'm like, there's no way Will Smith is going to come to my studio. An hour later, one of his guys called, said, Mr. Smith would like to visit the studio. Can you send us a location? I was like, it's not happening.
Say less.
Went to the studio, waited, cleaned the place up. Me and my producer were sitting there. We're like, is he going to come?
Will Smith is coming.
Doorbell rings, he walks in. So he comes in, we play some songs for him, and we're talking, chatting. It's literally just him and his security guy. That's it, no one else. Chatting, and we have, played some songs. He liked some of them. So done with that. And then he said, I'm going to dinner tonight. Like, you guys should definitely come. Like, yeah, sure. And then he leaves, and me and the producer just looking at each other like, did we just sit in the room with Will Smith? Was he just here? Like, and this is like the beginning days of Will Smith. Like, he wasn't always around. And
Yeah. He's a down-to-earth guy, yeah?
Yeah.
He's a
And
chill
then
guy.
I remember my producer saying, yo, do you really think he meant that invite to dinner? I'm like, I doubt it. I think he's just being polite. 30 minutes later, his
Another
security girl,
Follow up.
Mr. Smith would like to know if you're joining him for dinner tonight. So my producer's like, no, there's no way I'm coming. He was a little like, he's not really a social person.
Uh-huh.
So I go to dinner. It's just me, him, a friend, security. That's it. 4 people sitting at this table. It was like a little bit bigger than this table, and the 4 of us sitting, having conversations, laughing, this and that, and then that was it. So that was the first time I met him. This, by the way, this is all in like one day.
No, that was all in one day.
That was all in one day. Went to the barber appointment with my barber.
Came to the studio.
Came to the studio at dinner. And then we kind of like exchanged numbers. We kept in touch and we talked. And when he came back one time, I said, there's a song. I played him a song. I said, I want you to see if you can like record something for me. And he came in and he recorded a whole verse on a song for me. A song that was never released, obviously, due to like, you have to have paperwork, release forms and all that. But I recorded a song with Will Smith. Like I was like in the studio. I was like, yo, Will, can you like do that a little bit better? Like one more, can you like another take, like, double it up for me? Or, okay, let's do it from the beginning. So we also recorded this one song together. And then also at the time I was working in TV and I had flown to LA to host the red carpet at the Oscars. And he was on the red carpet walking.
Yeah.
And I remember calling him. I was like, wow, we were in a like terrible, shitty area up in the corner somewhere hidden. And he saw me. He came up to me. He's like, yo, what up?
What's up?
He's like, yo, I can't do any interviews because everybody wants me to do interviews, but I just came to say what's up. He's like, shout out Dubai in the building. So that was sort of that whole era of meeting him. But since then, my barbershop Beats and Cuts has been his barber every time he comes over here.
Mm.
And he comes here like
He
all
comes
the
here
time.
a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, being just around Will Smith, I can imagine the personality and the
like it
room.
rubs off on you. Like it's contagious. Like good energy is like contagious. Like you think like, how is this guy? How does he remember everyone's names? And how is he so friendly all the time? Like he must have a lot going on and he's like that. So it's very inspirational and contagious. So that's why I said in my video that he's my mentor, because he doesn't sit down and mentor me, but all you got to do is be in a room with him and he's just like, he's inspired you already.
Especially because you mentioned you're an observer. So like
Right.
that helps a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And is there any other like international, like celebrities, stars, whatever you want to call, maybe not even, that you built like a strong relationship with them as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. There's one. I mean, I would say probably Shaggy is another one.
Shaggy,
I've known for like over 12. Like I was doing the count maths the other day. I think it was like 10 or 12 years ago when I first met him. I had just started DJing, I think, and we did a show in Dubai. And then like every time he came out, like I must have like 100 pictures with him. He must be tired of taking pictures with me. He even invited me to a tour they went on in Australia, like just to be there and hang out. And we just did a song together. It's called Hello Wallah.
Yeah, I heard it's an amazing song. I love
So
it.
thank you. And we've been trying to make a song for a long time too, but there's a lot of with like artists and celebrities, it's always a little tricky because you're friends, but not everyone will like do a song with you or support you in that way. But the fact that he did it and we put it on the show and everything, so I'm grateful for that relationship in that moment. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple cool guys. Shaggy, definitely a cool guy. Will Smith, great guy. This guy called Swiss Beats, Alicia Keys' husband, a super producer, also a really, really nice guy. Like real people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, surrounding yourself with the right people is always important, that support you and help you reach the goals and objectives. If I want to move a bit to the business side of DJ Bliss, because you have many businesses as well. I heard you have like this agency Select. I read about it.
Yeah.
And there's many other, the barber shop is another one. And I think Bliss Inc. is another one.
Correct, yeah.
So like how do you manage also your business at the same time and growing your career?
So the first business that I ever started was Bliss Inc. It was really because I was getting so many DJ bookings and I couldn't do all of them myself. So I thought, let's like set this up and organize the events and book DJs. As it got bigger, I started creating brands. So that was really like my, sort of my special skill to create a brand. So we created Select Talent Agency. That became a DJ booking agency. We created 401 Nights. That became our nightlife brand and parties that we would throw. It's one of the most legendary nights like in the history of Dubai. Beats and Cuts started because my barber who I used to cut my hair with was leaving because his shop was closing. And I said, you can't leave. I said, what if I open a shop? Literally just came out of that.
I love that.
Out of that idea. And Karak Inc. I started because I made a song about Karak called I Need a Karak.
Karak, yeah.
So because I made the song, I'm like, it'd be perfect a branding thing to have a Karak shop as well. Yeah. So that's how that came about.
Wow, lots of businesses, and you're able to manage everything. You have the right people around you that help you.
Yeah, it is tough. It takes away from my time of what I want to do artistically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially with COVID, we like is when I started Karak Inc. And we didn't have a lot of people around like working and doing things. Couldn't do anything really, so it was a little bit of a tough time there. But I'm grateful I've had like great people like to work in my team that really help out. That's really the most important thing. You need a great team because you can't do anything yourself. Like you need people to help you out. So when you have a team that's passionate and they help you out, whether it's a content creator, whether it's your accountant and whoever it is, when they're on board, they have the same vision as you and they have that same positive attitude and that fire in them, that
hunger to
and also more importantly, they treat it like it's their own, because it could be a job for them, and when it's just a job for them and you just get paid to do something, usually you don't really do with your heart and soul. And that's why I think like employers should really treat their employees better, because if you treat them bad, they're gonna feel bad. That energy is bad. They're gonna put that energy straight back into your business, and it's not gonna work. So, I try to stay away from that as much as possible. And I try to, as much as I can, to inspire like even my own staff and, the people around me to be more positive.
Exactly. You said
this is manifestation talk.
Yeah. Always, always.
You don't know about this. This is manifest talk.
Everything goes back to manifestation. You said that you had dinner with Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Disclaimer. Will Smith is not one of the options. If you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
Wow. Michael Jackson, Kurt Cobain, Bob Marley.
Michael Jackson, Kurt Cobain, Bob Marley.
Yeah. I swear I don't know why I thought you were going to say Michael Jackson. I was like, well, he seems like
Michael Jackson is
definitely he's a legend.
I mean, the king of pop, like the greatest, I think the greatest that ever did it and will ever do it. I don't think there's really
He didn't mention any girls. Maybe it's because he's scared of dying or something.
If there was a girl, who would it be? I don't know.
It's fine.
Marilyn Monroe?
I can't. No, I don't
Princess
know.
Diana.
I don't know. No, it's really people who like it.
Could be dead or alive. Like,
I mean, Michael Jackson's, like I said, the king of pop.
Yeah.
Bob Marley died, I think, before I was born, I think.
He was young.
We still play his songs in the club today.
Legend.
Like, it's crazy. Like, I watch all his documentaries. Like, if I could like the way he talks, and like, he was definitely ahead of his time with what he was doing and what he was saying. He was such a inspirational person. And Kurt Cobain, really, because I didn't tell you this earlier, but when I was in school, before DJing or anything, like, I was into rock and alternative rock music, and like, I was obsessed with the band Nirvana and Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I picked Kurt Cobain.
Great. No, definitely great answers, great choices.
I just realized I picked 3 dead people.
Yeah, I'm like, you can pick alive people.
You know why? Because I can probably get the alive people. Somehow, some way.
That's the mentality, and that's manifestation. Everything is going back to manifestation. Before we move to our last segment, I just want you to tell the audience, everyone's listening to this podcast, everyone that's watching this podcast, what is one advice that you would give to an upcoming DJ?
I would tell them it's hard. It's not easy, even though you think it's easy just to get some music and get the equipment, because you're not just mixing the music. You know, it's a whole like thing that's going on. Watching the crowd, picking the right song, mixing it, the sound, the energy, the like all of it. So think long and hard if this is what you want to do, and decide whether this is going to be, hey, just going to do this kind of like halfway, I'm going to make a little money from it, or whether you want to be a superstar DJ. Think where you want to go, because the last thing you want to do is you want to be the superstar DJ, but you're putting in the work for the halftime DJ.
Yeah.
Decide exactly what you want. Maybe you want to just be a resident DJ at a bar and just, you know, that's it. You just like DJing a little bit. So I think really today you really have to figure out what kind of DJ you want to be, and then think about what work you have to put in to achieve it. I mean, I guess the easier gig requires less effort, and superstar or the epitome of the top DJ requires everything. And I think when you have that plan in place before you start, that'll make it easier. Most people want to become superstar DJs, obviously, but they don't put in the work for it. They still go partying at night, then go to after party and sleep all day, and you know have never drawn a plan of what they're gonna do ever in their life.
It's similar to the analogy you gave earlier, like know like the cost of the car and do a plan accordingly in order to achieve it.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, and you have to keep trying,
going, keep pushing, even if you fail, you keep going.
And a lot of people do ask me this question, by the way. It's a great question. A lot of people say, hey, can you help me out? Like, you know, I really want to do, I really want to DJ. Especially for Dubai, I really want to move out here. Yeah. And I used to tell them, yeah, sure, let me see what I can do. Now I just tell them straight up. I'm like, listen, it's not easy. There's like, I know 100 DJs over here. A lot of people who are already here. You're sitting in some other country and you want to come. I'm like, come over here. Like, come here, see what it's like, see what the vibe is. There's no way you could be the best DJ, by the way, sitting in another country. No one's going to hire you over there, because DJ is not just about being a good DJ anymore. Like, it probably maybe the least important thing now. Yeah, you could be a bad DJ and be a great person and have a great network, and you can throw the best party.
Market yourself.
Yeah.
You got to build the brand.
If you can book tables these days, it might be better than being a DJ. I'm not kidding, by the way. It's truth.
No, definitely. It's not easy route. You gotta put in the work, you know, to get the results.
Yeah.
Now, before we move to the last segment, I just want to ask, who do you support in the World Cup?
Oh man, you don't want to know. They lost today.
Argentina.
Argentina?
Wow.
Oh, but they lost to KSA, so you can't be too sad.
I know. That's why I'm not too vocal about it.
Yeah.
But I was very, very, very happy that. I mean, that's unfortunate for Argentina, but like it's good for the Arab world.
It's cool. It's cool
for Ronaldo supporters. Let's go into the trivia.
Yeah.
It's just 6 questions, general questions.
Yeah.
By me, like I'll ask 3 and Maher will ask 3. So the first question: the Eiffel Tower was gifted by who to the United States?
To the United States?
So the Eiffel Tower was gifted to the United States, right?
Yeah.
By whom was it gifted?
Was it gifted to the United States, and that's why it's in France?
No, sorry, I said the Eiffel Tower. Sorry, the Liberty.
Oh, the Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty.
Oh, now you ruined the answer. I'm guessing France.
Oh my God!
I manifested that.
Okay, you totally manifested it.
Man, see what I did there?
Okay,
I'll make the second one more difficult. What blood type?
We're on the same wavelength.
Right before he started, I'm like, let him give me the answer.
I'll make the second one a bit more difficult. Let's see. What blood type qualifies as universal donor?
Oh.
That is okay. Europe. That's not too difficult. Europe is separated from Africa by which sea?
Europe and Africa by
There's a
which sea?
You got this.
When Lebanon, I see.
Oh man.
Hold
on. The Mediterranean.
Wow,
Ooh,
he's
3
on
for
a
3.
streak, by the way.
You know what? You know how I was. I remember Cyprus, and I'm like Cyprus.
Come on, Lebanon as well.
Okay.
Yeah, true. But you know, like even though Lebanon is the Mediterranean, like the Mediterranean, really they talk about like Greece and like you know.
Okay. 4th question: What does BMW stand for?
Oh, I'm not gonna get this. Maybe you give me a hint, I can guess.
How can we give a
I
hint?
think M and W, you know them. No?
لا,
Motor, for sure. M is motor,
Yeah.
and W is workshop.
We're the first part of
Work,
it.
work,
Yeah.
motor work. Benz? I don't know.
Bavarian.
No.
Bavarian.
Oh, I wouldn't
Bavarian
say.
motor.
Half a point.
Motor.
Fifth question. What object is said to bring bad luck if it's broken?
Man, I thought we were on the same page.
Man.
What? How? Why? You
Now
doing
we're
this?
thirsty.
Why are you doing this to me? A mirror?
Yeah.
What? You told him.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't tell you the answer.
No.
Are you trying to gaslight me?
Yeah, that's
Last question. Which country did bagels originate from?
The who?
Bagels. Which country did
Bagels?
bagels?
I'm gonna ask you a question. It's not my answer. It's not New York, not America.
It's Europe. I'm with her.
okay.
I wanted
Somewhere
to-
in Europe. Somewhere in Europe.
Because New York is the best bagels
No,
in the
no,
world. Somewhere in Europe. I'm gonna say
We want to give you like 4 options.
There's a hint that's actually
Hint?
relevant. They're playing tonight in the World Cup. I'm not sure. I don't know if you're a football fan.
I don't know who's playing. tonight.
That doesn't help.
Unless it's Denmark.
It's close.
Poland?
Ah!
Is Poland the World Cup?
Yeah.
Poland is in the World
Don't
Cup.
they have that one star player?
Lewandowski, and then
Lewandowski.
they're in the same group with Argentina.
Oh,
Fun fact.
Come on, Argentina fan.
So next time watch the game, remember our trivia question.
All right, cool. So this is the guy who just joined Man City and
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Sorry,
Lewandowski joined Barcelona. Haaland, you're talking
Oh,
about.
right.
Haaland
He's
is
from,
Norway.
he's Norway. Sorry,
Norway, Norway. Yes, exactly.
So I haven't really paid attention. Is Argentina in trouble for losing to Saudi? Like the other two teams
they
are.
have
Give
2
or
more
take.
games. They have 2 more games.
I know,
Like,
but
if
who are
it's
those two?
Poland
and Mexico.
and Mexico. So like they should
But like Saudi was the easiest draw for them. So that's
technically. But I think Saudi surprised
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah.
I think 2 things happened during this game. Saudi performed well, and Argentina really did not perform.
As always,
Yeah,
they've been disappointing for a long time.
for a while. Yeah.
Let's see.
Man, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you
DJ
very much.
Bliss,
Amazing
guys.
thank
episode,
you so
DJ.
much. We're just gonna finish it off by saying always have a higher take, because that's our like slogan.
Oh, I love it, and I think it's on the Bliss manifestation positive side. Always have a higher take is like, higher take on what's happening. Just be above everything
Yes,
else. That's
exactly.
So I love
So
the
let's
name.
go here and just say it together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Always have a higher take.
Cheers.
Thank you, DJ Bliss.
Thank you, guys.